A very happy Sunday afternoon, my people. And it is a gorgeous Sunday after all those kind of chaos. This is gorgeous. So after today's teaching, let's all go out and take a long walk. So let's start with our part one, our longevity breathing exercise. Your legs shoulder width. Put your hands up and your legs bend a little bit as if you're hugging a tree. We'll do 10 times. Now let's start our part two, our 10 energy movements. We'll do 5 each movement. Your hands meet down here in your dantian. As if you can touch the sky when you put your arms up. You are strengthening your fascia system. And also help to activate your triple burner. That is very important because that has a lot to do with your body fluid and with your lymphatic system. Now the next movement, we're strengthening our lungs, our colon. Open up the 6th arm meridian lines. Meditate yourself in this movement as a soldier. You are protecting, you have transformed into your immune system. That's the army of your body. Now we move to the third movement. It is all about our gut. One hand, you can touch sky, the other one touch the earth. This movement if you have neck tightness and also emotional stagnation, the basic emotions, you feel your basic emotions are out of balance. This is a good, right movement to do. Now we're balancing our heart fire. Let's say if you are angry with someone, frustrated with somebody, or you have your heart is broken, or you have gas. And this is a good movement. Now, this movement, we're opening the dual meridian line, the bladder meridian line, also stretch out your tendon. So this will be very helpful if you have back pain. And then also if you have restless legs, and this will be helpful to you as well. Some people want to lose weight here, and this is a good movement. Now, a is all about our liver. Now we're strengthening our prostate health, our uterus health, our pelvic floor, reduce our pelvic floor inflammation, reduce the possibility of kidney stones, UTI, and also if you have gas pain, after you do this movement, and then you squat. Now the next two movements, longevity movement. We open our legs as wide as we can, strengthen those tendons, and open the 6 leg meridian lines, arm meridian lines, your Ren channel, blue meridian line. Now the last one, the forehead. First. And this one, you should feel the whole body is relaxed. And don't forget to breathe. So always remember to have your water with you. And now it's late summer into the fall. So what I like is now I use chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemums, these are healing king chrysanthemum. This is not the one you take from your outside your garden. Okay, that will give you diarrhea and tingling in your tongue. And this is a herbal chrysanthemum, different. But this chrysanthemum, why chrysanthemum?
Sorry, Dr. Liu, we're not able to hear you.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, you're good. Thank you.
So you see our clinic has the symbol of chrysanthemum. Why? Because chrysanthemum has such a healing property that has yin and yang, both healing properties. So what does that mean? That means that late summer and into fall and through winter, and actually it's whole year long, but this is a really good month to have some chrysanthemum tea, because that really help you to balance the yin and yang energy, therefore will help to balance your basic emotions and layers of especially that can help you to reduce inflammation and also balance your layers of emotions. So chrysanthemum is one of the herb for this August. Always remember to drink some water after exercise. So our today's topic with traditional Chinese medicine is that we can just go on and on forever, because there is 5,000 years of history that is not your lifetime or my lifetime can cover all the topics. But what is it that now we went through the 12 basic managers of a day, we begin to have the seasonal managers mentioned a little bit. So I thought it would be interesting to just to kind of share a little bit of what the basic diagnostic tools of traditional Chinese medicine. So this basic diagnostic tools that all the practitioners study traditional Chinese medicine will learn. Some will learn more, some will learn less. It depends on what roles you later play, right? So my role, as I was trained as a diagnostician, that the diagnostic tools are one of my things. So I went through months of learning that. So the first of, there's many tools that we can use, but there's big 5. So most people will learn 4, but in my tradition, we have 5. So the first one is Wang. Wang is observation. It's actually more than observation, but let's just start with observation. So when people come to clinic, when I look at you, right, the first thing I do when you walk in is observation, is that I am doing my observation on you. So what am I looking? So let's start with the head first. So when you come in, I look at your hair. So that gives me a lot of information about your, in particular, and your kidney system. So because kidney system, as we know, that's one of the vital energy right? So I'm looking at the color of your hair. I'm looking at how the vital energy that it's pretty much like you look at a garden. If a garden is really showing health and awesomeness, or the garden is seared, right? So I look at your hair, and that gives me a lot of information about your kidney system. And then I look at your eyebrows, and that gives me a lot of information about your liver. And then I look at your eyes, right? Your eyes, that give me information about your heart, the connection between the heart and the kidney system, your liver system, and also your digestion. So the eyes is very important. And also eyes is the window of your soul. So I am looking at your eyes. So therefore I can see into your soul to see what is it that, are you troubled by? Are you bothered by? So that's the eyes. And then from the eyes, now I look at your nose. So do you have what? If people have butterfly rashes next to their nose, if they have, sometimes they have red nose, sometimes they have pimples. And what does that tell me? That tells me a lot about your lungs. And also, I can see how much can you smell, right? I can see that as well. And then by knowing that if your lungs is healthy, that how's your nostrils doing? How's your the channel to open your lung meridian lines? From there, look at your cheek. So especially the elderly, you gotta really pay attention to their cheeks. And do you have, we call that peach cheeks? And that is an indication of early, I don't want you to look at other people, okay, because you are not trained, or look at yourself in the mirror and then tell me what you have, okay? So, but just hear me out. And then that indicates that how's the connection between your heart and kidney system, right? Do you have peach color? Are you too dark? If it's too dark, right, that means there's something we need to look at your kidneys. If it's too peachy, then we need to look at your heart, right? And then from there, and we'll look at your ears. And the ear health, that if you have, how's your channels inside, right? Do you have what level of inflammation and stagnation? How's your GI system? So that gives me a pretty good idea. And then I look at your lips. Then I know that your stomach and spleen mostly. And finally, I look at your tongue. Tongue, again, the eyes are the windows of your health. The tongue is the other window of your health as well. The eyes mostly shows your emotions, your spirits. The tongue shows what is your each organ is doing. So, and then I look at the overall color of the face, and then I move to, and then I begin to do a checkup on you, right? I look at your neck a little bit, because we know the lymph is part 1 lymph, part 2 lymph, part 3 lymph, right here in the bone area. Then that is the basic thing I am looking at. It's called Wang. It's observation. And but in traditional Chinese medicine, that a lot of times, not only we look at your face, right? We begin to look at the other system, then to determine, okay, so how's your overall stagnation, overall inflammation, how's your gut, and how is your toxins level, and then that will give me a pretty good idea about where you are at with your immune system. So this is a basic thing. It's just one of the 5 techniques, right? But also learning this technique is very important because if you do observation nature and you see, okay, so in us, we know there's 5 elements. This 5 elements has to be balanced with each other. If it's off, then it's off, right? We have, if this 5 elements that play a supporting role, we say, we started with wood, fire, earth, metal, water. But nature and us, in those 5 elements, also need to have a healthy control with each other. Because when you have promotion, then you must have controlling, right? That's yin and yang. But you don't want to over promote, you don't want to over control, you don't want to under promote or under control, right? So that has to be all right. So then you look at the earth, you look at our nature, and there's 5 basic elements in nature. There's, if the nature is supporting each other, then you would, we say that the trees, you look at anything related to growth, then it's not overgrowing, right? And you look at the fire is under control. You look at earth is producing, and you look at the fire. The metal is the harvesting, right? It's that we are not being aggressively harvesting earth. And then the water, that the water is nourishing us, but it's not overflowing. And then we have a say, well, then I want you to really meditate and look out and look at the nature, and then you will see pretty much what element is out. When you look at that element, it's out, and you look within, and then to say, okay, so if outside that element is out of balance, so it's very likely that inside the element is out of balance. So the old times, since we are just kind of sharing and stories and all this, it's quite interesting because the folks, the common folks in China, they don't know, you know, like the people that are helping my parents, they told me, oh, I have no idea about feng shui, about 5 elements, and about all this. I said, well, that's not true, because when you say to each other that when you meet each other on the street, not with a mask on in China, and they says, 买东西去啊. So are you buying? Dong is east. Xi is west. So Dong, east is wood. It's you plant things into earth that will grow, right? It's vegetables that are considered wood, the element of wood, and the rice and all this. And why don't people say, oh yeah, what are you doing? Basically, they're asking, you buy east and west, that means that, oh, how are you in the Western world? And in Eastern world, they will ask you, are you buying east and west? Why are they not saying, are you going buying north and south? Because east and west, you can plant, and harvest, you can harvest. So this is a cycle of Earth. So, but when they say 征战南北, when there's a war and there's fight and they says 征战, the war is 南 is north, south, 北 is. So they feel if the element related to fire, related to water, that is so powerful, if you shouldn't even think about buying and selling that. You should stay safely with the things you can grow and harvest. Then you promote peace. Once you start saying, I'm buying fire, I'm buying water, then you are saying you're preparing for war. So I thought it was a lot of wisdom in it, because nowadays, well, we think we can buy and sell everything. So we think we can consume everything without mindfulness put into it. So, and then, today in my family, we discuss the topic of cursing, basically. Okay, so how do we say in the East? How do we say in the West? We say, you are not East and West. So that means, damn it, you're a bad person. But we don't say that. We're saying you're not East and West. What we mean is you're North and South. What does North and South represent? That represent fire and represent water. That has, without any feelings. That bring up the next topic. We say, 天明则日月不明. When nature reveal itself, water in particular and fire, when they really reveal 日月不明, the suns, even the sun and the moon hides. So what do? We basically hide. Think about what's happening outside. Right? So doing a little bit of observation, knowing the elements of nature are off. That means the weather patterns of the nature has become imbalanced. So then how do we, as insignificant mortals, do to wait out? Right? That's the observation we have outside. And then that's the observation we have within. And when I look at you, I tell you what's wrong, but you also can look at yourself to say, look, am I emotionally off? Am I physically off? Which element I have too much? And what I do to balance myself. So the next topic or the next talk, and I will tell you what I think you should do if these elements are off. Right? What are the simple things you can do? But for now, you have learned plenty of tools to do, right? You are doing the energy movements that will give you an overall sense of wellness, that also will help you to reduce overall inflammation and stagnation. And you are doing the meridian line petting that will open up your meridian lines, right? And you are, again, you need to sleep 8 hours. Modern science is catching up. Now, everybody, 20 years ago, when I said your gut is very, very important, a lot of illness is related to what you eat. People are saying, even medical field are saying, oh, there's no connection. But now, hey, it's all about the gut. As if I predicted. No, I didn't. And we have this for centuries. So now, let me tell you, what is going to be the new kind of thing is sleep. When to sleep, how you sleep, how many hours you sleep, And I'm telling you, you need to sleep 8 hours. You cannot possibly cheat thousands years biology. Need 8 hours if you want to have good health and longevity. Ask me questions.
Dr. Liu, can you talk a little bit about why it's important to sleep the schedule you have discussed with us before, the time frame of about 10 to about 6? Because some people might interpret what you're saying of 8 hours as like midnight to 8 or, 1 to 9. They feel like as long as they're getting in that time, maybe that's good enough.
So in traditional Chinese medicine, it's not good enough because it's not just how long you sleep. Many people won't get there. But after you get there, and then the next thing you should improve is one to sleep. Let's go back to the managers, right? We know that from 9 to 11, what your system is doing, from 11 to 1, from 1 to 3, from 3 to 5, from 5 to 7. So your body, your system is doing something for you that can only do when you are deep sleep, when you are asleep. So that's really why if you want to detox properly, so that will help to strengthen your fascia system, help with the body fluid, and also help to clean up your lymph. If you want that your liver system, right, and your yang energy rise slowly, right, then you must sleep in certain hours. That will help you to really distribute and create, and then from 3 to 5 distribute and everything. So and then the gate of heaven is open, gate of earth is open, then that you eliminate. So for thousands of years, and nature has created such a way. If you look at other beings, a lot of animals, and they all follow such rhythm. So our biology has created this rhythm as well. Let's go back to observation. This is not, traditional Chinese medicine made it up. Traditional Chinese medicine absorbed this, watched this, and said, oh, that is the rhythm. Let's record that rhythm. Let's let people do within that rhythm. So then we are in one with nature, because when we are not in one with nature, people, what will happen? Just look what's happening. That's what happens if we are not in one with nature. So that's why it is important not only just sleep 8 hours, but one to sleep.
Dr. Liu, could we also say that the quality of sleep varies? I mean, we know there's an impact on the body, but the quality of sleep itself would not be as restorative, I imagine.
Right. Because you will lose some kind of sleep that we all need. That sometimes if you nowadays the modern science says, well, why 6 hours is not enough, because you're supposed to sleep 8 hours and you're losing 25%, but the REM sleep you may lose 6 to 7%, and you may just not bother. So so I really do think the modern science that they're catching up are telling you what, through doing the observation, that for thousands of years, traditional Chinese medicine and the Taoist, and they're really good with really following the rhythm of nature, has been telling you all along.
Dr. Liu, we know there's a correlation between sleep and a lot of chronic conditions that face Western society. Could you talk a little bit about how it might impact mental and emotional well-being?
So 8 hours of good sleep, that really is the foundation of well-being and good health. Look, if you want to shorten your life, don't sleep. Don't sleep 8 hours. If you think you can cheat your biology, don't. So that really is what come down to. If you do want to promote good health, then do sleep 8 hours. And that is that important. That is not that important.
What about making up sleep, Dr. Liu? Sometimes people do that on the weekend. They might sleep in or they might.
There's two things that I think people should do. They should have a schedule, have a routine, follow that routine weekdays and weekends. Do not change your routine on weekends. Set up a time to get up at 6. You get up at 6 work days, you get up at 6 weekends. So that's just, you just don't budge. And the other thing is you don't give in. You know, you don't say, oh, you know, today I have more important thing to do, then therefore because think about the more important thing you're doing. You're either watching something, you're getting upset, and you feel that the earth will end because you don't finish that email. Let me tell you, the earth will end, not because you finish that email. We have other problems, right? So nothing. You just need to let it go and go back. Sleep 8 hours, right time, because this is essential for your well-being. It is essential for your longevity. And don't tell me I didn't say so.
Dr. Liu, some families are transitioning to getting back to school with their children. Of course, they've been maybe on a very relaxed summer schedule. Do you have any advice for them to get back on track, especially if sleep has been really erratic?
So why do we see a lot of illness among young people? Because parents they don't know how to discipline their children, and kids have a lot of relaxed schedule in summertime, and you know, if it's so important for us to sleep 8 hours, and for them it's even longer, it's 9 hours, right? Take the phone away from them, take the computer away from them, let them stop chatting, and don't rely on news. Because if under your watch, you let them use summer, when it's spring, they have no summer left. Your husband, you were given this amount of energy. If they use it the first quarter, then they will have chronic fatigue. And under your watch, you will shorten their life for them. As parents, and as mentors, I think it is our responsibility to do as much as we can, not give in to advise them. Otherwise, why do you need parents for? If you don't know better than your kids, why do you need parents for? If I don't believe my mentor knows a lot more, why do I need a mentor for? Don't think you're doing them a favor. Don't be lazy, people. It's not always going to be pleasant, but they will thank you if they are wise enough. If they're not, then you have done your duty.
Thank you so much, Dr. Liu. Maybe just one really last question here about dreams. Sometimes patients ask, is remembering my dreams a good thing? Is not remembering my dreams a good thing? Does it even really matter? How can we gauge whether or not we're having proper restorative sleep?
So before you wake up, if you have some dreams, that's okay. And that's okay. But if you wake up with the dreams that lead to heart palpitation, I would say it's the other way around. You have heart palpitation, then you have those dreams. Those dreams is what you remember. And the heart palpitation is not caused by those dreams. This heart palpitation is caused by the division between the heart system and your liver system and your kidney system. So by writing down the symptoms, not, oh, I chased my husband in my dreams, but rather I fell short of breath. So chasing your husband in your dream is okay, but having short of breath, then we'll need to look at. And say, oh, I killed somebody in my dreams. No need to be scared. You don't have such a power. But to say that really gives me a scare, that we'll need to look at your kidney system.
Oh, Dr. Liu, we could just ask you questions all afternoon. Thank you so much. I think that does it today. Thank you. Thank you.
So that's the observation, and go and take a walk and do a little bit of observation. But always remember, the best observation you can do is to look within, try to find that balance in life.
Thank you, Dr. Liu. Thank you, Sarah.
Inspirational as always. Thank you.
I love hearing what people say.
Thank you, Dr. Liu.
Thank you, Dr. Liu and Sarah.
Thank you, Dr. Liu.
Thank you, Dr. Liu and Sarah.
You are a blessing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.